Brian Moote is a stand-up comedian. Brad Nolan is a stand-up dad. The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. Brad is out today. And in with me, I'm not going to call you intern Jordan anymore, Jordan Solly.
Sweet.
You've graduated to having a last name.
Sweet.
Jordan Solly from Atlanta, who's now relocated to Los Angeles. You heard him on the show a few days ago. He talked about his trials and tribulations in Los Angeles so far and his sexual tension with Cassie Young from The Burt Show. On the show today, I'm going to talk with Matt Thomas from Brawl for a Cause. He's doing a thing called chess boxing, which is chess and boxing together. You box for a round, and then you play chess for a round. You box for a round, and you go back and forth until you either run out of time on the chess clock.
Are these guys scrawny?
No, they're like huge. You got to go check out the YouTube for chess boxing. It's wild. He's the guy who did Brawl for a Cause. We talk a little bit about Brawl for a Cause, about me getting my face punched a bunch in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and his campaign for chess boxing. He's aiming to be a world champion chess boxer, which I think is hilarious. But first, Jordan, we're going to open with the screenshot you sent me, which... It was basically you getting in trouble again at an internship, or maybe not in trouble. Those are too harsh of words. But we talked a couple days ago about how you were put on probation on the Burt Show. You're the first intern ever put on probation because you were trying to sneak your way into concert tickets, which we had unanimously agreed that that's okay when you're an intern.
There was no sneaking involved. I mean, it was very blatant.
Actually, no, you're pretty sure.
I was very straightforward about it.
You just basically said, like, look, I'm a photographer.
Cassie's like, I know what you're doing. I mean, you do. You're right.
Yeah,
I mean, everything's
exactly what I'm doing. I called it out in the email. I should have CC'd everybody on it. So explain to me the screenshot you sent me, because it's funny, but I also love that you've only been at this internship for, like, what, a couple weeks, and you're already...
I've been here for about 3 weeks now. My younger brother made this proposal to me that he wants me to be a YouTube star.
Okay, so, man, that's
a
slippery slope.
Right off the bat. Oh, I agree.
Slippery slope, because it means you're going to have to piss a lot of people off and gamble on the fact that... Because nobody watches YouTube because we want you to succeed. We want it to be funny, or you to get in trouble, or someone to get pranked.
They're raising the youth.
Yeah,
raising the youth for the adults now.
You guys are digital a-holes.
Exactly, and that's okay. That's totally fine.
You're right.
So I was making a screenshot or a thumbnail for that video, some clickbait.
Right.
So I put my face on a chicken wing.
Okay.
And the video's titled "Jordan Gets Hungry." And yeah, it was simply just a title. It said,
what's the video about? So the thumbnail's for a YouTube video about you eating chicken wings. What are you doing? Are you like?
I'm starving. I'm a poor.
So are you just eating as many chicken wings as you can in like 90 seconds or something?
No, I mean I ventured all the way to the corner Ralph's.
Okay.
And
Ralph's Chicken Wings.
Saw what I could wrangle
wings,
up for the...
Every time I think of wings, I think of a grocery store. That's really good.
Saw what I could wrangle in for a solid $2-3.
Okay, so that's not what the screenshot was then. What did you do with that picture of you with the chicken wing and your face on it?
I took this picture of me and sent it to... Well, no. I said it is my boss's desktop background.
So your boss's desktop background.
Right.
So what did your boss have on the screen before? Just like mountains or something?
Right. It was very generic.
Like just the basic whatever came with the computer.
Abstract expressionism.
Right. Just a big triangle. Okay. So then you change your background to your face with a chicken wing. On a chicken wing.
Very subtle.
Very subtle.
Very subtle.
Yeah, right. And so what? So then she texts you or emails you?
I got an email. This was no later than... less than 30 minutes after I left.
Yeah.
She goes, "Hi, Jordan. I have to say I was not a fan of coming back to my computer with the changed desktop. You're free to use this computer, but don't need this happening. Let's not let this happen again."
But why? Okay, so give me a little background on your boss real quick. Before I lay into how lame, the response is, and who is your boss? I need age, general descriptors.
She's probably about 25, 30, somewhere between
So she's
there.
young enough to know how to change the photo on the... Because I was thinking to myself, okay, I would reasonably be pissed off if I was in my 50s.
Incompetent.
And I don't know how to do that.
Right.
I'm like, and now when I'm pissed because I don't know how to change it back, and I'm embarrassed because I'm going to have to ask you I'm gonna have to discipline you or just tell you I don't like it, and then
change my own picture.
Right, and then, by the way, can you move that back? Can you get it back to where it was?
But no, she took the
25.
aside.
So you know what? So she's just annoyed that you would have the balls to be messing around with her backdrop.
Which, we're interns. Like, what else are we supposed to be doing?
I love the idea that you go into an internship with that and mentality
There's no
of like
rules.
there are rules.
There's
man.
no rules. We're the gray area.
you signed a contract, right? That
We
contract,
are the gray area.
Did you read the contract?
Okay. You're not going to get anywhere unless you dance those fine lines, and I realize that.
You're not even close to a line, Jordan. You are the second day. You're already in the wrong side of the line.
It was a gamble I was willing to take, and it
Wow.
didn't pay off.
So, what has there been any follow up? Has she
No.
said anything? So,
Nothing else quite yet. Yeah, I mean, great.
what do you? Okay, so do you have? Is this where it ends for you in this shenanigans?
Right.
Or is it because of the YouTube star thing? Now you got to document this as a voyage. So it's like that as
Whoa, that's
Jordan.
a good call.
Jordan pisses off his bosses. That sounds like a pretty good YouTube channel.
clickbait.
I would completely 100% endorse you posting videos of you pissing off the bosses because I am on your side with this. I think interns. I think it's a scam for us to get free labor and also for us to remind you, young professionals, when you get into the working world, just where you got to start. You got to start down there.
I'm paying my dues.
For free. Yeah, dues that no one needs to pay because it's unnecessary. If no one had to pay those dues, now it's just we're taking it out on you out of frustration. See, I used to see the cavalcade of interns at the radio station and just go, you guys are all being suckered. You're being suckered. None of this is that valuable. Some days we have to find things for you to do. Your college is just trying to get rid of you and make you think like you're really getting a professional experience. None of it. And the only reason we do it is because we can. And that's wrong.
But that's okay with me. I mean,
Well, it's okay with you because you're gonna plow through that gray area,
and I'm gonna set your desktop background as a chicken wing with my face on it.
So is that where it stops, though, or how do we need to develop here a plan of action, Jordan? That this is gonna be a storyline for you on the show. I need intern Jordan shenanigan updates. We need because I
the
feel
insider
like
scoop.
I am gonna kind of exact revenge on my old intern structures by encouraging you and the shenanigans. So what are we gonna do next?
It's a good question. I will say, now that you're saying, now that you're bringing up my boss, she did send an email shortly after yesterday to let us know that she was leaving in a month.
Oh, she's out.
Did I do this?
No, you think she's like, I can't take it anymore.
You know what? I'm done here.
I'm not gonna monitor these animals no longer. I doubt that that's the case.
No.
But if she's leaving in a month, that means that
There's a new coordinator to pick on.
Yeah, but also you got you can take a couple shots. Can she fire you before she leaves? Probably. Are you gonna do another like a background prank, or are we gonna try something new?
I am open to ideas.
Open. Did you hear that, everybody? Open to ideas. Hit us up on Twitter. I'm at Moote Points. Jordan, what is your Twitter?
It's at Jordan Solly.
It's Solly, Sollie. Hit him up. We need some aggressive intern prank ideas because I think this is your niche right here. This is your YouTube star channel.
It's my upbringing.
Intern shenanigans. People will be all about it. Clearly, you're not too committed to actually doing a good job there. So I think this is a perfect vein.
It's Hollywood.
Perfect vein. Hey, man, we're all in Hollywood. We're all about the retweets, all about the likes, all about the follows. All right, coming up next, we are going to talk about how I was a worse intern than Jordan, but I was actually trying to do well. That's coming up the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. That's called a post. It was 9 minutes on the nose, bro.
Sweet.
We did it. We did it.
Now
there
solid.
There we go, Brad. Yeah, man. That was fun. And I like that. We just created a storyline for you. And I want everybody to give Jordan terrible, awful ideas that will get him fired, and that will be fun for us. All right, let's talk about more intern stuff. I got bad. Have you ever been a bad intern or employee anywhere else? I'm sure you have.
Every internship I've
You're
had.
pretty awful.
Yeah, it's okay.
The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. Here we have Brian Moote
This better not get me in trouble with my girlfriend.
and Brad Nolan.
No, my wife wants to flip the swinger switch.
Just two boys without man buns.
What's happening, y'all? It's the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. In with me today, hanging out, my new favorite. Well, I'm not going to call him my intern. He's not. He's part of the cast. It's part of the cast of the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. Jordan Solly, former intern in Atlanta at Q100, but now interning at a place we won't name because, we don't need to yet. We don't need to I want you not to get fired because I want to ride this out, these shenanigans. Now, I have an idea for you, and this is one that I did when I was arguably the worst intern in the history of interns at Boston College in the School of Social Work. I hated my internship. I worked for a lobbyist named Charles Glick. This is his real name. And he always had food on his tie. That's annoying. You ever meet someone like that? They always have...
Wipes their mouth with their tie?
I don't know if it's because he wipes it or if it just falls out of his face while he's talking. But he always had food on his tie. Always had like crumbs all over.
And how old was this guy?
He's in his like late 40s. And he just kind of an awkward body. Just imagine what you think a Charles Glick would look like.
Right.
That's what he looked like. And he's just the guy who after noon, you always knew he'd have like something like sauce on his tie or something weird. And I was sitting all the way in the other end of the office. It was a nonprofit lobbying group, and I never got to do anything fun. The Boston State House wasn't even in session right then, so I didn't have anything really to do. I got lectured all the time. I remember one time they debated on firing me, which was embarrassing because it was a free internship.
So you were interning at the school?
I was interning. I went to school, Boston College, and in the School of Social Work, they made us have internships. So I almost got fired twice. I had to have like an intervention, and I didn't know. Like I didn't think I was that bad. I just had nothing to do, and I was bored. And it always is kind of a slap in the face when someone's trying to fire you from a job you're not getting paid for. It's like they look at you and they're like, listen, you're costing us money. Like I know we're not paying you. You're costing us somewhere.
3 too many K-cups.
So actually my first online radio show, I've been on a hunt to try to find some of these episodes. I only did 2 episodes. It was called I'm Bored and Nobody Knows It. And what I'd do is I'd sit at my desk and it was an online streaming company that probably no longer exists. And I can't remember their name. But what I'd do is I'd start broadcasting from my computer and I'd just start talking to people in the office because we shared an office in a main area with paralegals, with all these other businesses. Professionals, yeah. So then I'd be sitting there, I'd be talking about videos I was looking at, I'd be talking about my fantasy football team, broadcasting live on the internet to nobody. No one's listening. It was like Twitter with no followers. But then I would have...
Chat roulette.
Right. I'd have Daryl from the paralegal department. Daryl would come over and she'd sit down and be like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, hey, Daryl, how's it going? And I'd be like, welcome to the desk, like as a joke, but it was really like she was on.
Were these others in on it?
No, they had no idea. That's the fun part. My guests never knew they were being interviewed on an internet radio station. So Daryl would come down and sit down, and I was the only one who talked to any of these paralegals because all these lawyers were all like, crusty dicks. So she'd come sit down and be, welcome to the desk, Daryl, and then we'd talk about her kids, and she lived in like northern, the North Shore up in Boston, and we'd talk about that. We'd talk about what she did in the weekend, and her husband went crabbing and all this weird stuff, and just silly. So I think you need to do you need to live stream an episode of the Jordan Solly intern show and you can see, we didn't have like Instagram and stuff. So that's my idea, is set up a tripod or hide your phone at the desk and just go live streaming. Maybe wear a tie that day, a shirt and a tie, so it's like a desk show. Like have that mug.
Hidden camera.
Yeah, like have a mug like a cup of coffee, like an actual show. And try to get people to sit down at the desk and interview them and never tell them they're part of the Jordan Solly show, but the Jordan Solly I'm an intern and I'm bored show, and just see how many times you can do that and get people just to hang out as if they're on a late night show and just make a joke about like, welcome to my show, they'll think you're kidding.
I'm down
but
for
you're
this.
For real interviewing them on your for real live Instagram show. Instagram, IGTV, it's right there. Welcome to the show. What do you think? We got an idea?
No, I'm absolutely down. And what's convenient is I have the one computer that's kind of like free reign in the office. Mm-hmm. So it's this huge building, one computer that's kind of like off to its own corner, but straight in the open.
That's perfect.
And I'm the one intern who doesn't have a laptop. I had a friend spill a slushie on it.
Yeah, that's something you would do.
No surprise. So I've been laptopless for about 2 months now.
Okay.
And I've been using their desktop and just, again,
listen,
changing their backgrounds.
I'll be the biggest fan of the Jordan Solly show ever. I'm an intern and I'm bored.
I'm seeing thousands of viewers, millions.
I mean, this is going to take off. like wildfire when people see that an intern is just blatantly slapping the system right in the face for all the free labor you have to do.
Are you familiar with Twitch?
I've seen it. I'm not familiar with it though because I'm on the north side of the millennials, so I haven't gotten into that yet.
Scary place.
What is Twitch? Can you explain that to me and everyone listening right now? Because I have grown-ups that listen to the show and they don't know what it is.
Right. So I mean, I haven't quite fallen into this category, but I've got a lump of friends and even my siblings. They tune into this, and it's just people live streaming their life. Mm-hmm. And the top streamer has literally been broadcasting for 4 years.
Wow.
And his wife has divorced the guy because she's like, dude, I mean,
you're obsessed with this Twitch.
You're live streaming our whole life. I mean, our marriage can't handle this, dude. I mean,
that's a level of obsession I'll never understand. I'll never understand that. I mean, listen, I love radio. I love telling stories that people in my family hate. My girlfriend hates, whoever, a lot of people don't like, whatever. A lot of people, if it's about them, they're always like, hey. But to the point at which you're going through a divorce, getting a divorce because of that, that's bad. Now, listen, I went through a divorce, and I think it's funny to talk about now. But at the time,
great headline.
One, you can't talk about the divorce while you're going through the divorce on radio because it just sounds like you're slandering them, and two, you're probably saying stuff you shouldn't in terms of admitting things you shouldn't admit, and you've got a lawyer going like, "Don't say anything, shut up."
So my question is, if he's been live streaming the whole time, did he sign the divorce papers on camera?
See, if you got to, if you're
could have been a peak in viewership right there.
Yeah, if you're committed to the Twitch game, like I feel like you have to go full bore into that game.
This could be my platform, though.
It is going to definitely be your platform.
I'm 100% going to be my platform.
I feel like the generation you're in that's all frustrated by these free internships that they have to do, and you're ready. You're ready for a platform to rebel against. I think you're going to start a revolution by just doing your own. I mean, technically it's free work, but if you end up with like millions of followers because you are just an intern who is not caring about your job that you're supposed to be doing, that's brilliant. Plus, get this, ideally you get fired during one of your live streams, right?
All on camera.
And that goes viral. And the world needs this, Jordan. We got a lot of bad news right now. A lot of downer things, right?
We need the real information.
Shootings, people detained at the border. We've got walls being supposed to be built. America didn't make the World Cup. That's a downer. And we're watching all these other countries play soccer and pretending like we care. And you know what we do in that? And that darkness, we've got just a tiny glimmer of light and hope. And that is Jordan, the intern, just blatantly disrespecting the corporate machine in which he is being forced by the University of Georgia. Actually, they don't even know you're doing this, right?
No comment.
That's good, man. That's good. Don't.
Plead the fifth.
While there's legal documents involved, never go on the record. All right, coming up next, we are going to talk. Well, I am going to talk. Jordan's probably going to end up listening.
Going to mute me. Whatever.
What'd you say? I was going to mute your microphone in mid-sentence. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Matt Thomas, the founder of Buckhead Brawl, on his endeavor to become the first American chess boxing champion on The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. Bam. Boom.
The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. Here we have Brian Moote
This better not get me in trouble with my girlfriend.
and Brad Nolan.
No, my wife wants to flip the swinger switch.
Just two boys without man buns.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. Brad is out today, so it's just me on my lonesome on this segment. Kind of, because first on the show today, up first, we have a buddy of mine, a supreme athlete, a philanthropist. We have Matt Thomas, founder of the Buckhead Brawl from Atlanta, joining the show. Matt, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm excited to be here, man. It's good to hear your voice. It's been a little while.
Yeah,
man.
It has been, man. So for those of you who followed either the Burt Show or follow the Amp Radio Morning Show, Matt founded Brawl for a Cause, which is the boxing match that I flew back out to Atlanta for to headline the match, which was like terrifying in itself because I felt like there were some fights before me that I felt like were really good, and then I felt like we had to bring it home. And it has become, Matt, let's start with Brawl for a Cause and all that before we get into the chess boxing, which is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. So you started the Buckhead Brawl how many years ago?
So we became a nonprofit in 2016, and that's when we brought the charity boxing event model to Atlanta. So November 2016 was our first event in Atlanta, where it was that black tie, open bar, casino games, and charity boxing all in one night.
And this year, you guys have had it in ballrooms before. This year was at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. That was probably one of the coolest parts of the experience, aside from the part of training myself and my own nerves, overcoming my own nerves, was just the cool factor of being on the field and looking up. I mean, granted, the stands were empty, but maybe keep it going and maybe we'll be able to fill it up a little more. But that wasn't the part. The part of it was just how big the space was. It was amazing.
Yeah, man, you were headlining on the same field where Matt Ryan and Julio and all those guys play on Sunday. So that was definitely something we wanted to make our brawlers feel like the superstars that they are, and to get all the people that came to the event the opportunity to walk around on the same field where the Falcons and United play on.
Well, it's crazy too because, right out the gates in the match for me in my bout, I was under the impression, because people think it's just going to be some jab charity fight, and then once that first punch lands and you got the adrenaline and you realize both of these individuals are actually boxing and no one's trying to get embarrassed in front of their family and friends for a charity event. I mean, it was real. I was in pain for days after that match.
Oh, it's definitely real. Yeah, you feel that first punch, and a lot of that training. Hopefully, a lot of it is muscle memory or subconscious at that point, but you're in fight or flight mode, and there's nothing like a fight. But yeah, what was your experience like in the ring?
In the ring, I remember being I had a plan, and I know that Mike Tyson has that. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Right. Mine was the reverse, where I had a plan until I landed a punch on my opponent, and then I thought to myself, "Oh, I'm a better boxer than this guy. Like, he was a house, he's a big, strong dude, but I am technically a better boxer than him, and I am going to try to end this in the first round." And I realized that there's a lot of toughness that goes into both sides of it, and this guy was not going down anytime soon. And immediately, my arms felt like they were 1,000 pounds. And I think that's the thing that is the most intimidating, is when you have a round left and you can't just stop fighting. You just can't stop fighting. You want to, do yourself proud, do the charity, because we're raising money for charity, do them proud. And so my experience was, you push yourself to the limit of when you want to quit, and then you realize you have to find another gear. I know it sounds cliche, but that is, and also you can't stop playing defense as well, because you're going to get your head knocked off.
Exactly, and you hit the nail on the head, man. Like, if you're fighting for something bigger than yourself, there's no quit in you. Like, if it's just you can be like, all right, I'm done getting punched in the face, or like, I'm tired.
right, sparring.
I'll take a little break
it's
now.
over. I'm done for the day.
But if it's the Burt's Big Adventure Kids or any of the other 30 charities that were at the event, like, you're signing up because you believe in that thing enough to put yourself in harm's way for it. And you aren't quitting if that's the case. It
is one of the coolest charity events I've been, probably the coolest charity event fundraiser I've been involved with. Now, granted, we've been talking, we kind of touched before we started the interview on training, because you're training now to do chess boxing. And I feel like the training that I'm watching you do on social media is just relentless. And I remember when I moved to LA at probably the most inopportune time in January with a fight coming up in February, because then it was, starting a brand new radio show, that on my plate, and then also trying to get into gyms where I'm training myself with a heavy bag that's like one of those stand-up heavy bags, and I'm trying to get into boxing gyms just to get a little sparring in. I'm trying to train when I'm back in Atlanta for like the weekends here and there. And that training part, because you mentioned to me earlier, you don't want to feel like you got beat by yourself, like you let yourself down because of the training. I felt like that was affecting me a bit in Brawl for a Cause, where I feel like I was on a great track, and then the move happened, and then it became me versus myself just to get into the gym.
Oh, 100%. And honestly, Brian, like, this is the first time that I've walked in your shoes or any brawler's shoes. We've been doing this 3 years. We've had over 100 brawlers go through our program. And it's time for me to get a little dose of empathy here and drink our own Kool-Aid. And it's terrifying, man. It is terrifying having this deadline where it's like, I'm going to fight someone else. And if I am not putting everything I possibly can into preparing for that fight between now and that deadline, then I'm doing myself a injustice. I'm doing my cause that I've chosen to fight for an injustice. And we were talking earlier, but the biggest thing that's rattling around in my mind is it is okay if someone is a better chess player or a better boxer than me, and if they knock me out or if they checkmate me. But it is not okay if I beat myself.
Right.
If I run out of gas, if I leave something on the table that, just a little bit more work or a little bit, a literal extra mile on my run or whatever could have fixed, I need to do everything I possibly can to prepare myself so that I don't beat myself.
So we've mentioned chess boxing already. Let's explain to what this is, because it is by a mile the most fascinating thing I've ever seen in my life. It's a mixture of chess and boxing at the same exact time, which sounds ridiculous. So explain the rules, and you're raising money, where you're going. Let's get that out of the way before we talk about just the process of chess boxing. Like, what is it and where is it and what's the point?
Sure, yeah. So when I say this to people, they're like, what? So you chest bump each other until someone
Yeah,
falls over? So,
right.
But it's actually, it has nothing to do with your chess. It is the board game chess combined with the combat sport boxing. And let's visualize you and me going at it in chess boxing, Brian. So in between us, there's a chessboard. Let's say I'm white. I make the first move and I hit my timer. Now your timer's counting down.
Right.
As your timer's counting down, you're thinking about what move you want to make. You make a move. You hit your timer. Now my timer's counting down. Collectively between us, we only have a certain amount of time for our game. And if that time runs out for either of us, it counts as checkmate. So time is a factor here. We're playing speed chess.
Okay,
right?
so I don't even like that part of chess. I've always just seen it, been like, why? I don't know why they're hitting those buttons, but I understand. So there's a time element in there too. But the chess boxing setup is you box for a round, chess for a round, box for how does that go?
Exactly. So we start out playing chess. We're hitting the timers. When collectively we hit 3 minutes, the board goes away. We put gloves on and we box for 3 minutes.
Okay.
So we're knocking each other in the head. We're probably affecting how we're going to play chess.
Well, you're exhausted too.
Exactly. And then after those 3 minutes, gloves come back off. We go back to the board. We play another 3 minutes on the board. And the way you win is by checkmate or knockout. So we go back and forth like that until one of those two things happen.
So there's no set number of rounds. You just keep going?
So there are a set number of rounds because there's only a certain amount of time on the chessboard.
Oh,
so
gotcha. So at some point in time, somebody's going to run out on the chessboard, and that's checkmate.
Exactly
You're
right.
Out. Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
Right.
So, but if everyone's really quick on their chess buttons, so is there just a set amount of time no matter what for chess each round? Is it? So you said it's like 3 minutes no matter what, just a 3 minute break, or is it 1 minute, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? So it's 3 minutes for both chess and boxing, which gives you a much longer boxing break than a typical boxing match. So, when you fought, you did 2 minutes on and 1 minute break in your corner.
And
right?
it felt
like amateur.
That was hilarious because 2 minutes felt like 2 hours in those rounds. And then when I watched the fight back on Facebook Live, someone at Facebook Lived it for me. I was watching it going, this was longer. There's no way. That is not what happened to the rest of the fight.
Yeah, time gets completely distorted in there, and you're so tired and you're so adrenaline filled and your heart rate's so high. The trick in chess boxing is going from that state where time is so slow, you're so tired, your heart rate's high, to refocusing and being able to get back to the board and actually have some sort of strategy.
Right. To continue that chess strategy, because if you get checkmate in the chess, you're going to win right there. I mean, I feel like I would just let the clock run out if I was tired. So what is it? Are you good at chess? Is this something? Because how did you find this entire idea? And I know you're going overseas to do it, but you're good at chess, or are you learning that for the first time, really?
Yeah. So here's the spark notes of the story. I got a shoulder injury. I was recovering from this surgery, and I found it on YouTube, and I got kind of obsessed with it. So I was watching all these chess boxing matches, and I grew up playing competitive chess.
Oh,
So I was
shoot,
playing in
you
chess
did?
tournaments. Yeah, so I was playing in chess tournaments until I was 11, and then I stopped. I started playing travel soccer, which took up like all of my time.
Yeah, definitely.
So I would still play like, recreationally, and I was president of my high school chess club at Westminster, but like that was still just for fun. I wasn't playing like tournament kids. I was like helping teach people that kind of knew how to play, but didn't really know how to play. And so when I heard about the sport, I was like, boom, this is combining like two of my favorite things, two of my passions, chess from when I was a little kid, and then boxing from college and from Brawl for a Cause. So I reached out to the founder.
Chess boxing does sound like something I'd go down a YouTube wormhole on, for sure. Like, I'd see it and be like, what is this?
Yeah, and for anyone listening that's intrigued, like you Google chess boxing or you put it into YouTube, you can see what some of the stuff looks like and how crazy it is. But,
so you reached out to the founders of it because you're like, I'm gonna compete in this.
Yeah, some crazy Dutch guy named Ayipe founded the sport about 12 years ago. And it's only in Europe and Asia right now. And in fact, there's only been one American that has competed, and it was 10 years ago. And,
oh, wow.
And this tournament that's coming up is the World Championship for chess boxing, which no American has ever been in. Like the other guy just kind of did a random chess boxing event. This one's like the tournament to win a World Championship belt.
So you could win. You could win a chess boxing belt if you go. And where is it? This tournament is at. Where is it located, and when is it?
It's in Calcutta, India, and it's at the end of July 27th through 29th.
That is wild.
So we have the first ever Team USA going to Calcutta, India to compete in the World Championship for chess boxing.
That's insane. So, okay, so you're raising money for that. So where can people find you to raise? You're raising money for you to go, or are you representing a charity too?
So I'm representing Brawl for a Cause, the charity.
Okay.
So what I'm raising is like, okay, I'm having all these crazy people help me train. The Olympic coach for Cuba is my boxing coach in my corner. I have I have an international master in chess training me in chess, a guy named Carlos Perdomo. So, I had these amazing people helping me get ready for this. And going to India is not cheap. So part of it is like covering the cost of the trip, but really everything's benefiting Brawl for a Cause.
Right.
Just like you fought for First Big Adventure and had this cause that was bigger than yourself that you believed in, I have that same setup, that same dynamic where like this isn't just about me. This is bringing as much fun and awareness to Brawl for a Cause as possible. And this is what I believe in most.
Yeah.
I believe in everyday people fighting for what they believe in. So if me putting myself in harm's way or doing something that I'm a little uncomfortable with or a little fearful of can benefit that, then I'm all for it.
So what does an average day for you look like right now, and when do you shove off for India, and how does that change things?
So I can be training all day because like you can overtrain in boxing, right? Or anything physical. You train too much, you get hurt. But you can't overtrain when you have both something physical to do and chess.
Right.
So all I need to do is sit down and look at a board. So like anytime that I'm not like going for a run, getting my road work in, doing some mitt work or doing some sparring and like getting my boxing technique up, I can be doing tactics and chess puzzles just to be training my pattern recognition. Or I can be playing blitz games, which is the most similar format to what I'll be doing in the chess boxing tournament. So just 5-minute games where we're going back and forth, we're moving really quick. And the coolest part of this training is doing the intervals between like getting my heart rate super high, getting one of my friends to knock me in the head a little bit.
Right. And then sitting down and trying to
adrenaline. And
like move a rook.
Down. Exactly. Yeah. And trying to remember what a castle is or like
right, or which way the horse gets to turn.
Right, exactly. So, I'm doing my best. Chess boxing really isn't in the States yet, so there aren't like true sparring partners that I can have.
Right.
But I'm trying to mimic the training that these other people in other clubs around the world are doing in preparation for this tournament.
By getting people who do various things to do it at the same time, so you're getting experience, like getting your face knocked around a bunch, and then having to sit down, going like, all right, I got to have a strategy and for time and everything. So how can people?
Exactly.
Where can people find you? Should they just go to @BrawlForACause?
Yeah, so at Brawl for a Cause or at @MattThomas_fit on Instagram, you'll see a bunch of the training stuff. You can see some of the resources.
It is wild. I suggest people go. because I've been following you and I get tired looking at it. I'm back to just like recreational fitness and just trying to eat healthier to stay in shape. But the amount of stuff that you're putting yourself through is unbelievable. Is there any way we can watch this online? Do they live stream this? Because I'm going to make literally an appointment to watch you do this if it's an online streaming thing.
Yeah, so it's a 3-day tournament, and they will be doing like Facebook Live and all that kind of stuff. So if you like Chess Boxing Global on Facebook, you'll get a notification when it goes live. But I'm also bringing one of my friends, you know him, Rob French. We're actually training with Herb together in preparation for this.
Love Rob French. He gave me my first bloody nose sparring at Delgado Boxing.
Yeah, shout out.
Didn't know how to block jabs. I like to block jabs with my face.
I don't recommend that to anyone else. But,
bad.
But you do you, Brian. But Rob French is coming over to be in my corner, and we have one other guy, Chris Castillo, who's coming over to videotape the whole experience.
That's fantastic.
So even after the live stream, we'll have like a higher quality kind of like full journey kind of thing that we'll put out that I'll shoot over to you.
Okay, and also in the app that a lot of people stream this through the app that I have. It's at Moote. It's Moote to 36260. I will move some of your information up to the top of the tabs on my app so that people can find to donate, and they can also find to follow your fitness adventure. Matt Thomas from Brawl for a Cause, man, I appreciate you hanging out with us, and I'm excited for you to watch this, to watch you hopefully dominate and bring back a championship in this crazy sport I didn't know existed until I randomly saw one of your Instagram videos, and I've been following it ever since. So I appreciate you coming on, bud.
Heck yeah, man. And thank you so much for having me. I'm super pumped. I appreciate the support, and brawl on, baby. I'm glad we got to
you better
catch up.
You better believe I'll be at Brawl for a Cause next year. I'll be there just at the event. I think I'm retiring at 1-0 in terms of the competitive boxing for now.
The safe side of the ropes, the drunk side of the ropes.
Yes, I'm in on that. I like the silent auction and the drinks. So Matt Thomas, appreciate it. Everyone go check him out. It's a fascinating thing he's doing, and you're going to go down that YouTube wormhole for sure.
Love it.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for having me on, Brian.
You got it, man. Thank you.
The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.